Hej, 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 cześć, siemano, witam was wszystkich bardzo serdecznie w kolejnym odcinku z Dragon Age'a. Drugie podejście do nagrania tego odcinka. Przednio mi w pierwszej minucie wykrzaczyło grę. Jestem ciekaw, czy moje zabiegi sprawiające, że ta gra ma się nie wypierdalać, podziałają. Sprawdziłem spójność plików gry w Steamie, żeby jakieś tam gówno się pobrało, nie wiem. Jakaś tam aktualizacja była. I ustawiłem tryb zgodności z Windows 7. Zobaczymy, może to coś da. Przynajmniej teraz mi nie zaskoczą te... No właśnie. Za bardzo się zbliżyłem. Alister, Oberon. Jazda. Wy tutaj weźcie sobie, podejdźcie bliżej trochę. Chwila. To widzę, że jeden się rzucił na was. To już się go pozbądźcie ładnie. Morrigan, możesz iść za mną, dobrze. Widzę, że tamci się nie za bardzo interesują losem swojego przyjaciela. No dobrze dla mnie. Dobra, lećcie tam na górę. Alister z psem. I idźcie się zająć najpierw tymi pierdołami. Dopiero później się zajmiemy na samym końcu alfą. Tylko chciałbym, żeby moja postać atakowała w plecy. Okej. Ty, bycie. Dobrze. Weź tutaj napierdalaj Morrigan zaklęciami w tego alfę. Jak już zaczęli napierdalać, to niech go już napierdalają na dobre. Weźmy go, kurwa, zmasakrujmy. Wyssij sobie HP. Chodź tutaj i weź ich tutaj, ogłusz wszystkich. Szczególnie tych łuczników, zasrańców. Dobra, to już nie powinno być problemu. Już głównie wyczyszczone wszystko. Tutaj mamy naszych pierwszych kupców do naszego obozu. Właśnie, obóz trzeba odwiedzić. Jeszcze w obozie nie byliśmy tutaj. W naszym obozie. Dobra, jakieś słabsze okłady lecznicze. Zawsze coś. Urlok Alpha. Coś ciekawego, pieniądze. No zawsze coś.
Mighty timely arrival there, my friend. I'm much obliged.
A nie ma za co.
The name's Bodon Fedek, merchant and entrepreneur. This here is my son, Sandal. Say hello, my boy.
Hello.
Road's been mighty dangerous these days. Mind if I ask what brings you out here? Perhaps we're going the same way.
Nie sądzę, żebyś chciał podróżować z Szarym Strażnikiem.
Grey Wardens? My, that does rather explain a lot. No offense, but I suspect there's more excitement on your path than my boy and I can handle. Allow me to bid you farewell and good fortune, though.
Goodbye.
Now then, let's get this mess cleaned up, shall we?
I tak, z tego co wiem, to ich spotkamy później. Chyba że chujowo przeprowadziłem tę rozmowę i nie mamy kupca, ale wątpię, żeby tak to wyglądało. Sądzę, że i tak ich raczej spotkamy później. Ale w każdym razie kontynuujmy naszą drogę ku przygodzie. Tak, chcę ruszyć w drogę. Co się dzieje? Nie wiem, czy już mam dać ostrzeżenia epilepsji na filmie, czy jeszcze nie?
Bad dreams, huh?
Chyba stąd coś zjadłem i stąd te sensacje. Wydawał się taki
Well,
prawdziwy.
it is real, sort of. You see, part of being a Grey Warden is being able to hear the Darkspawn. That's what your dream was, hearing them. The Archdemon, it talks to the Horde, and we feel it just as they do. That's why we know this is really a blight.
Właśnie, dlaczego Duncan po prostu wszystkim o tym nie powiedział?
He did. He said he felt the Archdemon's presence. Everyone just assumed he was guessing. It takes a bit, but eventually you can block the dreams out. Some of the older Grey Wardens say they can understand the Archdemon a bit, but I sure can't. Anyhow, when I heard you thrashing around, I thought I should tell you. It was scary at first for me too.
Czy są jeszcze jakieś niespodzianki, o których powinienem wiedzieć?
Other than dying young and the whole defeat the blight alone thing, no. I'm all tapped out for surprises.
Nie brzmi tak
You're
niespodzianka.
up now, right? Let's pull up camp and get a move on.
Zaraz. Ja sobie tutaj najpierw porozmawiam ze wszystkimi w obozie.
Yes.
No,
Well, here I am.
nie. Niekoniecznie o takich rzeczach chcę porozmawiać.
What do you need?
Chwila, nie. Ja chcę dać im prezent komuś z nich. Gdzie tutaj jest jakaś zakładka na prezenty? Tutaj? Tutaj. Chciał komuś dać prezent, na przykład Alisterowi. Co ja mógłbym dać Alisterowi? Nie mam zielonego pojęcia, co Alister mógłby chcieć. Wiem na pewno, tak. Że Leliana chciałaby, jestem tego absolutnie pewien, symbol Andrasty.
That's a wonderful thought.
Super, podoba jej się. Sten. Naszyjnik plemienny? Dobra, nie wiem, co tutaj mogę im dawać, a nie będę teraz kombinował. Ty to kto? Levi Dryden. Tam Morrigan siedzi sobie z boku. No tutaj generalnie tak wygląda obozowisko, no. Można tutaj prowadzić rozmowę z tymi cepami, którzy z nami podróżują i tak dalej, ale aktualnie nie mam na to potrzeby. Kim ty kurwa jesteś?
Where are my manners? The name is Levi Dryden. Did Duncan ever mention me? Levi of the coins? Levi the trader?
Nie. Jestem Alwe, nikt o tobie nie wspominał.
Really? He never told you of old Levi? We've known each other for years.
Cieszę
But
się.
here I am carrying on while you have a blight to stop. Don't want to waste your time. But you see, Duncan promised that together we'd look into something important for the Wardens. And for me. But poor Duncan's... well, no more. A tragedy it is, at that. But I know he would want his work carried on. His pledge fulfilled.
No, o czym ty pierdolisz? Skąd znałeś
It's a
Duncana?
bit of a tale, that is. But I'm the one who brought the Grey Wardens back to Ferelden. Well, I was one of the ones. There were a lot of us. Make us breath, I'm a bit nervous. Honoured to be here, really.
Dobra, nie pierdol. Jaką obietnicę złożył ci
My
Duncan?
family, well, past a bit checkered to see. Nobles look at us with disdain. My great-great-grandmother, Sophia Dryden, was the last Warden commander of Ferelden back when the Wardens were known as freeloaders. So King Orland banished the Wardens, and he took House Dryden's land and titles.
Okej. Co stało się później?
Hard to say. After King Orland died, there was a civil war, loads worse than this one. And our family was on the run, hunted by enemies, with nary a friend in the world. But Drydens are tough. We rebuilt, became merchants, and we never lost our pride.
Dobra, ale o co chodzi? No więc za jaką przysługę poprosiłeś Duncana?
I asked for the truth. My family reveres Sophia Dryden. We know she died at the old Grey Warden base, Soldier's Peak. We want evidence to clear her name. It won't restore our land or our titles, but it'll restore our honor.
Okej. Nie mogłeś sam się tam udać?
Well, no one's been to Soldier's Peak since Ireland's days. At least none that's come back. I spent years mapping the maze of tunnels to the peak, and I found the way a few years back. So I went to Duncan, I did, and I said that he could reclaim the old base and my family could have its honor.
Rozumiem. Więc czego ode mnie oczekujesz? Albo nie, w jaki sposób uzyskanie szczytu pomoże straży?
Soldier's Peak is strategic and symbolic importance. Duncan said that it would be worth it right there. He also hoped to recover lost Warden history and perhaps a few old relics. No one knows what's up there now.
Dlaczego Duncan ci nie pomógł?
Darkspawn surfaced in southern Ferelden, and Duncan got plenty busy recruiting new Wardens and meeting with good King Caelan. Duncan said he would help after the Battle of Ostergar. Said there might be useful things at the peak, but he never had the chance.
Rozumiem. A więc czego ode mnie oczekujesz?
I can pick my way through the tunnels at the base of Soldier's Peak, but the place, well, they say it's haunted, and it'll be dangerous for certain. Will you think on it at least?
No nie, no nie ruszajmy na szczyt wojownika. Wiara twojej rodziny zostanie wynagrodzona, pomogę ci.
1,000 blessings upon you, Warden. I'll mark down the location on your map. When you arrive, we'll pick our way through the tunnels together.
Dobra, ale to jest wysokopoziomowy quest. Na razie sobie nie daruję.
It's good to see you, my timely rescuer. Bodon Fedek at your service once again. I saw your camp and thought to myself, what safer place to rest for the evening than in the camp of a Grey Warden? I'm perfectly willing to offer you a fine discount for the inconvenience of our presence. How does that sound? Good? Yes?
Co dokładnie sprzedajesz?
Anything, everything, but all of the finest quality. No cheap trinkets here. And my boy Sandal happens to be a bit of a hand with enchantments. Oh, yes. Sadly, it also makes us a target for bandits and the like. If there were spare hands to hire as guards, I would have done so long ago.
Okej. Możecie zostać, ale macie się zachowywać.
Thank the gentleman, won't you, boy?
Thank you, sir.
We won't be a bother to you and your companions, I assure you. If you should need enchantments, simply talk to my boy. Otherwise, come speak with me.
Okej. Zagadajmy sobie do Sandala.
The boy's a bit simple, but he's rather good with enchantments. One of those tranquil fellas actually called him a... what was it now? A savant. I had no idea such a thing existed.
Jakie zna
He
zaklęcia?
can fold lyrium into almost any weapon or piece of armor, though naturally some of the more extravagant materials will take more lyrium than others. It's a process that some of the master smiths back in Orzammar will perform, but my boy here is just as adept at it. Isn't that right, boy?
Enchantment!
There you have it.
Super. Jak się zaklina w ogóle w tej grze? Oh, shit. Dobra, mogę... Strażnik Przysięgi to jest ta broń, której ja używam chyba, nie? A nawet jeśli nie, to i tak sobie możemy coś zakląć tak dla wprawy. Tutaj mamy... Okej. Szansa na spowolnienie plus 2 obrażenia od błyskawic. Pyk. Włożymy to w slota. Akceptuj. Czy to jest właściwie moja broń, czy ja tego w ogóle używam? Nie, a może powinienem? No, zdecydowanie powinienem. Jest dużo lepsza niż ta moja broń. Efektów uzdrawiających plus 10%. No, przede wszystkim więcej broni. To nie jest przypadkiem... Ja tego nie zajebałem Alisterowi? Nie. Skąd ja mam ten miecz? A, chuj wie. Dobra, ale zanim jeszcze to Bodan, słuchaj. Możemy spróbować?
I suppose since you told me about you being a Grey Warden, it's only fitting for me to be as open.
Zapytałem go o jego historię,
I'm
jakby co.
originally from Orzammar, the famed dwarven city that lies beneath the stately Frostback Mountains. I was a merchant there too, merchant caste. These things are in the blood, you know. You can't just leave them behind. I ran a fairly successful business. Rare artifacts, you know. Old things, grand things. The nobles loved them. Reminded them of the lost glory days, I suppose.
Utraconej chwale?
Our kingdoms once spanned the length of Thados, from majestic Orzammar to Kalsharok to glittering Darmalin far to the west. They say the gold and silver veins ran so thick through the stone of Darmalin that the entire city sparkled. The Darkspawn took it all, of course. One by one, the old tigers fell, and then all that was left was Orzammar. But we were talking about how I ended up here, weren't we? One day, a noble woman came to my store. She looked around for a bit and then started shrieking in dismay. Apparently, she believed that a pair of braces I had for sale once belonged to her brother. He'd been lost in a cave-in, you see, while on an expedition to clear out the Darkspawn from one of the tunnels running close to the city. They were made specially for him. They're unique, she shrieked. He stole them from my poor brother's corpse. She had me arrested on the spot, of course. Nobles, they're touchy like that.
A ukradłeś się?
Well, I didn't steal them. You see, I'd been paying these castless thugs to venture out into the deep roads for me. The lost tigers, they're full of things that people left behind. Sometimes you can find a treasure, something worth a little gold.
Rozumiem. No właśnie, lepiej coś z nimi zrobić, niż zostawić tam, żeby gniły.
That's exactly how I see it. The noblewoman, she wasn't too happy with the theft of her brother's braces.
Jemu się już nie przydadzą chyba, nie?
Me, and I didn't want to find out. Bribed the guard that was watching me and took off for the surface first opportunity I got. Never looked back.
Rozumiem. I oto jesteś.
Yes, here I am. Now, is there anything the boy or I can get you?
W twojej opowieści nie było mowy o twoim synu.
Ah, yes. I'm married to a fine woman back in Denerim, it's true. She'd give me a son if she could, but that's not likely to ever be. Sandal here. I found him in the deep roads years ago. Abandoned, I think, and he was never quite right in the head. I took him in, and I brought him with me when I came here to the surface. It may not be my blood, true, but I think of him as one.
We left Orzammar.
That's right, boy. Maybe one day we'll see it again.
Okej. Więc masz własnego pomocnika? Za darmo? Kurwa, no. Więzy krwi nie są takie ważne.
That's how I've always felt. As long as he's happy, so am I. It's not as if I don't benefit, mind you. Turns out the boy's a natural working with enchantments. He might have even been lyrium-addled. I never thought of that before, to be honest. Happens sometimes. He can work an enchantment into just about anything, however, given some time. Could probably open his own shop, if he knew how.
Enchantment.
Well, he does seem to enjoy it at least.
Pokaż mi swoje
I'm
towary.
sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected. And with your discount.
Dobrze, dobrze. Co ty tu masz, mordeczko? Księga technik tajemnych? Ta księga daje czytelnikowi 1 punkt do wydania zdolność lub zaklęcie, co jednak czyni ją później bezużyteczną. Okej, i tutaj mam technik fizycznych. Fajne, fajne, fajne. To co to jest? Nic szczególnie ciekawego. Te krwawe buty i krwawe super sprawy. Kurwa, coś mam nie tak z przełykiem mi, kurwa. Coś mi się dzieje, nie teges. Widzę, że tutaj mamy past noty? Dałbym to Morrigan. No i co tutaj mamy w ogóle? Plecak. Ten plecak mnie kusi straszliwie, żeby kupić sobie plecak. Podręcznik dla templariusza, dla łowcy. Aha, czyli mógłbym sobie tutaj się nauczyć specjalizacji. Nie będę kupował tych wszystkich tych. Modlitwa ze zmarłych kunari. Kamyczek. To też komuś można dać. Nie wiem komu. W każdym razie Kalistera. To można dać chyba Morrigan, z tego co pamiętam. Pacynka Szarego Strażnika to jest dla Alistera właśnie. Dobra, nic ciekawego. W sensie ciekawe rzeczy są, jak najbardziej, ale nie dla mnie póki co. Wynosimy się z tego obozowiska, tak? Czas zebrać drużynę i ruszyć w drogę. Alister, Oberon, Morrigan, zapraszam. Zapraszam. Co my tu mamy? Ziemię Bana Lorena? Kurwa, nie pamiętam, gdzie co tutaj dokładnie się dzieje. Z tego co pamiętam, naprawdę wydaje mi się, to pozwala dostać się do Orlej. Szczyt wojownika jest tutaj. Orzammar. Nie, Orzammar jest na pewno trudny. Z tego co pamiętam, kurwa, no nie jestem pewien. Ale wydaje mi się, że Redcliffe, magowie, elfy, krasnoludy. W takiej kolejności. Co to jest? Co to jest przełęcz Sulhera? Ja mam jakieś tutaj, kurde, dodatkowe zawartość. Aha. Czeka markotny kupiec, który może mieć dla ciebie wyjątkową okazję. Okej. To jest to. Krąży pogłoska, wedle której pewien uczestnik bitwy pod Ostagarem zdołał zbiec z lochów Bana Lorena i szuka pomocy Szarej Straży. Ziemie Bana leżą na północnym zachodzie. Zbiegł więzień skrył się najpewniej w leśnych ostępach włości Bana Lorena. Okej, to są dodatkowa zawartość. To będzie tutaj dosyć skomplikowana sprawa. Do Jetty w Redcliffe, okej. Nie, Redcliffe jest chyba tutaj moim najbardziej bezpiecznym wyborem. Aha, znowu muszę wybrać drużynę. Alister, Oberon, Morrigan. Zapraszam. Lecimy do Redcliffe. Najwyżej w pewnym momencie się, nie wiem, cofniemy, pójdziemy gdzieś indziej.
Look, can we talk for a moment? I need to tell you something. I should probably have told you earlier.
No co tam? Niech zgadnę. Jesteś idiotą. Co cię trapi?
Well, let's see. How do I tell you this? We're almost at Redcliffe. Did I say how I know Arl Eamon exactly?
Że nie chodzi o nic obrzydliwego. Chyba mówię, że cię wychowywał.
I'm a bastard. My mother was a serving girl at Redcliffe Castle, and she died when I was born. Arl Eamon took me in and raised me before I was sent to the Chantry. The reason he did that
To mi się kojarzy z historią z zwiadowców.
because
Willa
my
bodajże.
father was King Marek, which made Kaelin my half-brother, I suppose.
O kurwa. Dlaczego zwlekałeś, żeby mi o tym powiedzieć?
I would have told you, but it never really meant anything to me. I was inconvenient, a possible threat to Kaelin's rule, and so they kept me secret. I'd never talked about it to anyone. Everyone who knew either resented me for it or they coddled me. Even Duncan kept me out of the fighting because of it. I didn't want you to know as long as possible. I'm sorry.
Nie stać mnie na to, żeby cię nie wysyłać do walki na pierwszej linii. Mimo to powinieneś był mi powiedzieć, czy Logain o tym wie.
Why wouldn't he? He was King Marek's best friend. I don't know if that means anything, though. I certainly never considered the idea that it might ever be important. Arl Eamon eventually married a young woman from Orlais, despite all the problems it caused with the king so soon after the war. He loved her a great deal. Anyway, the new Arlessa resented the rumors which pegged me as the Arl's bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10. Just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me.
Znała prawdę na twój temat?
She may have, but I think it's more likely that she feared the rumors might be true. I can't blame her for that. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall, and it shattered. Stupid, stupid thing to do. The Arl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there and blamed him for everything. And eventually he just stopped coming.
To, że on może być następcą tronu, jest dosyć istotne. I wydaje mi się, że warto zahaczyć ten temat. Ale z drugiej strony może go to trochę zirytować. No ale myślę, że warto zahaczyć ten temat.
Let's hope not. I'm the son of a commoner and a Grey Warden to boot. It was made very clear to me early on that there was no room for me raising any rebellions or such nonsense. And that's fine by me. Now, if there's an heir to be found, it's Arl Eamon himself. He's not of royal blood, but he is Kaelin's uncle, and more importantly, very popular with the people. Though, if he's really as sick as we've heard... Oh no, I don't want to think about that. I really don't. So there you have it. Now can we move on? And I'll just pretend you still think I'm some nobody who was too lucky to die with the rest of the Grey Wardens.
Jak rozkażesz, mój książę. Nie jesteś właśnie kimś takim?
See? I knew you could do it. It's easy, isn't it?
Okej. To pogadane. Myślałem, że dostanę jakiś bonus do relacji z Alisterem, ale wygląda na to, że nie. Pozbierajmy sobie tutaj cały syf, który się tutaj znajduje. I chodźmy przed siebie. Thomas. Witam, panie Thomas. Masz mi coś ciekawego do powiedzenia?
Travelers coming down the road, though I scarcely believed it. Have you come to help us?
Co masz na myśli? Jest jakiś problem?
So you don't know? Has nobody out there heard?
Słyszałem, że Arl Eamon jest chory, jeśli o to ci chodzi.
He could be dead for all we know. Nobody's heard from the castle in days. We're under attack. Monsters come out of the castle every night and attack us until dawn. Everyone's been fighting and dying.
Apparently everyone seems to agree that a blight is the perfect time to start killing each other. Marvelous, really.
We've no army to defend us, no Arl and no king to send us help. So many are dead, and those left are terrified they're next.
Hold on, what is this evil that's attacking you?
I don't rightly know. I'm sorry, nobody does. I should take you to Ban Tegan. He's all that's holding us together. He'll want to see you.
Ban Tegan, our Lehman's brother. He's here.
Yes. It's not far, if you'll come with me.
Okej, prowadź. Prowadź do wiochy. Zobaczmy, co tam Ban Tegan ma mi do powiedzenia. Czarny ekran? O, dobra, działa. Już się wystraszyłem, że znowu się wypierdoli ta gra. No faktycznie, nie wygląda najlepiej ten... obywatele tej wioski.
It's Thomas, yes? And who are these people with you? They're obviously not...
Oberon zadowolony.
No, my lord. They just arrived, and I thought you would want to see them.
Well done, Thomas. Greetings, friends. My name is Tegan, Ban of Rainersphere, brother to the Arl.
I remember you, Ban Tegan, though the last time we met, I was a lot younger and covered in mud.
Covered in mud? Alistair? It is you, isn't it? You're alive! This is wonderful news.
Still alive, yes, though not for long if Ten Loghain has anything to say about it.
Indeed. Loghain would have us believe all Grey Wardens died along with my nephew, amongst other things.
Nie wierzysz chyba w kłamstwo Loghaina.
What, that he pulled his men in order to save them? That Kaelan risked everything in the name of glory? Hardly. Loghain calls the Grey Wardens traitors, murderers of the king. I don't believe it. It is an act of a desperate man. So you are a Grey Warden as well. A pleasure to meet you. I wish it were under better circumstances. You're here to see my brother. Unfortunately, that might be a problem. Eamon is gravely ill. No one has heard from the castle in days. No guards patrol the walls, and no one has responded to my shouts. The attack started a few nights ago. Evil things surged from the castle. We drove them back, but many perished during the assault.
Z zamku? O jakie złe stworzenia
Some
chodzi?
call them the walking dead, decomposing corpses, returning to life with a hunger for human flesh. They hit again the next night. Each night they come, with greater numbers. With Kaelan dead and Loghain starting a war over the throne, no one responds to my urgent calls for help. I have a feeling tonight's assault will be the worst yet. Alistair, I hate to ask, but I desperately need the help of you and your friends.
It isn't just up to me, though the Grey Wardens don't stand much chance against Loghain without our Eamon.
Nie no, oczywiście, że pomożemy, no.
How pointless to help these villagers fight an impossible battle. One would think we had enough to contend with elsewhere.
Thank you. Thank you. This
Ci wieśniacy mogą nam bardzo się przydać w przyszłości.
Thomas, please tell Murdoch what transpired. Then return to your post.
Yes, my lord.
Now then, there is much to do before night falls. I put 2 men in charge of the defense outside. Murdoch, the village mayor, is outside the chantry. Sir Perth, one of Eamon's knights, is just up the cliff at the windmill, watching the castle. You may discuss with them the preparations for the coming battle.
Okej. Ale chciałbym omówić z tobą bieżącą sytuację chyba.
Of course.
Masz część rycerza Arla?
few who returned from their quest. You know of this, yes?
Nie, chodzi o poszukiwanie urny świętych prochów.
Yes, I question Isolde's decision to send so many knights in search of this relic. But I am a practical man, whereas she is a woman of great faith. Sir Perth was one of the knights sent on this quest. Perhaps you should speak to him if you wish to learn more.
Okej. Dlaczego przybywacie w świątyni? No to jest dosyć logiczne, zapytajmy.
Perth insists. He wants me to be with the villagers, so everyone he needs to protect is in one place. I don't mind, to be honest. The point of all this is to protect the villagers, and I can do that best here. This is the last line of defense, should things go amiss.
Okej. Potrzeba wam tutaj więcej ludzi?
We could bring some men in to stand beside me, but I'd rather keep the monsters away from the villagers if possible.
Okej, rozumiem. Czym dokładnie są te atakujące wioskę istoty? Tak.
I do not know. They seem to be walking corpses, men with rotting flesh that continue to attack even with the gravest injuries.
Undead, spirits possessing the dead. There could be several causes behind such a thing, none of them pleasant.
Co się stanie, gdy bitwa dobiegnie końca?
Hopefully we can find the source and stop it before it causes any more damage. With luck, we'll also find Eamon and be able to help him.
Okej. Powinienem wracać do pracy.
Luck be with you, my friend.
Dzięki. Okej. Z Banem mamy pogadane. Matka Hanna. Tak książek, dobra. Najpierw sobie tutaj bierzmy jakieś trivie. Zagadajmy tej matki Hanny.
Yet you defend a home that is not your own. We are grateful for that.
Jest jakiś powód, dla którego miałbym wam nie pomagać?
Many elves claim we wouldn't do the same in return. I would like to think that is not true, but I cannot speak for all. Allow me to introduce myself. I am revered Mother Hannah, head of this chantry, which for the moment is a place of refuge for these poor villagers. They are terrified of tonight's attack, and I fear these walls will not keep them safe. What can I do to help with your task?
Świątynia jest bezpiecznie?
It is the sturdiest building in the village. The women, elderly and children will stay here during the battle, while the militia and knights protect them. They set up a barricade outside the chantry to keep monsters from getting inside. If anything gets in, Ban Tegan is our only defense. Please, have mercy. Help these people. Do whatever you can.
I will try. Dobra, dawaj błogosławieństwo, babo.
That is,
Raszplo.
of course. I'd be happy to. Blessed art thou who exists in the Maker's sight.
Będę zbierał
Blessed art thou
błogosławieństwa.
who seeks his forgiveness. Blessed art thou who seeks his return.
Morrigan teraz kręci głową, a w poprzedniej świątyni klęczała razem z nami i przyjmowała błogosławieństwo.
May the chant reach the Maker's ears and tell him of our contrition.
Będziemy zbierali błogosławieństwa jak Pokemony. Dobra. Tutaj mamy chyba już wszystko załatwione. O, tu jeszcze kogoś możemy z kimś pogadać. Nie możemy pogadać. Nie ma. Tak, dobrze. O, to jest Jetta, to jest ta, której mamy oddać ten testament.
My husband and son went there to bring the chant of light to the chastened. But I haven't heard from them since.
Nazywasz się Jetta?
I am. You've heard of me?
Mam tu coś od twojego męża.
Oh, his lockbox. If you're bringing me this... Oh no, I'm sorry. Thank you so much for bringing this to me. It means a lot to... Maker's blessings upon you.
Okej, to wykonaliśmy zadanie. Przy okazji. Caitlin, o co chodzi?
Am I bothering you? I'll try to be more quiet.
Wszystko w porządku?
Those things dragged my mother away. I don't know what happened to her, but I hear her screaming all the time, everywhere. And now my brother Bevan, he ran off. I don't know where he is. I'm so scared they got him too.
Co by się dałaby go znaleźć? Nie. Dlaczego miałby uciekać?
He said something about saving mother. He's just a little boy. He doesn't understand she's gone.
If he has foolishly run off, then he is no doubt dead. You should get used to that fact.
Nice. Maybe you want to kick her in the head while you're at it.
Shall we comfort her with lies? If she is to face death, better she face it honestly.
I hope he didn't try to go to the castle. Oh, that would be awful.
No poszukam go, no.
You will. Thank you so much. Please find him.
Silence, girl.
Postaram się znaleźć twojego brata. Ale niczego nie obiecuję. Tak się zastanawiam. Nie, chyba sobie tutaj zakończymy ten odcinek. Taki trochę krótszy wyjdzie. Ale też no jakby nie będę zaczynał kolejnych rozmów, bo to tam skończymy na 50-minutowym odcinku. Mam nadzieję, że ten film wam się podobał. Jeżeli tak, to zobaczcie, zostawiam łapki w górę. Na dzisiaj to tyle. Dzięki za oglądanie, do zobaczenia, trzymajcie się. No i cześć!